tonight, and means a lot to all.
Did you meet Fenneman?
Yeah.
George, take a bow. It's George Fenneman.
How do you do?
George is with the Colgate people, huh?
That's right.
You've heard George, I'm sure, in the afternoons. Dish jockey. I love that commercial they have there in that Colgate. Brush your teeth with Colgate's. Oh, Colgate's dental cream, it cleans your teeth. What a toothpaste, what a toothpaste. Why, that should sell tooth powder I never could understand. Probably doesn't either. Which one has the Tony? You know, they never ask about the other one who hasn't got a Tony. They just always talk about the one with the Tony. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them had a Tony. Ridiculous way to sell hair powder.
Ladies and
And
gentlemen.
another thing I want to bring up, too. Show them when you don't want them to see your teeth. That's when they don't pick up his option. Well, go on.
You know. Oh.
I don't care. It's all right with me. I don't care. Smoke-a-lucky. This is a very unique kind of a show. We advertise everything but our own products. No, I don't mind. I know he's determined to go through with that, anyway. Palo Alto. Of all places to be on the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't let this get around. But the secret word tonight...
Well, that's the last stages, you know, when they start laughing when you don't say anything, they're ready for the snake pit.
That's pretty funny.
Snake Pit George, that is.
All right, anyway.
Stop giggling, will you? A grown man, huh? Ought to be able to control yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't let this get around, but the secret word tonight is water. W-A-T-E-R.
Really?
You bet your life. Elgin American, creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, finest dresser sets, present Groucho Marx in the Elgin American show, You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only...
Well, what do you know? That's me, Groucho Marx! Thank you. Well, tonight we have $1,500 for one of our couples, George Fenneman, who's first to try for it.
Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a young couple who were about to be married, and here they are. Miss Honey Brulee and Mr. Bill Hickman meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for Elgin American Compact, youngsters. And if either of you say the secret word at any time we're talking, you will win a 16-millimeter Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you use every day. So you two are about to enter matrimony, eh? Honey Brulee, is that the way?
That's right.
What is that, French?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Honey, French honey, huh? It's a very odd name, isn't it? How is it you were named that?
Well,
were you around a beehive when you were born? Huh?
I was about 3 years old when they pinned that on me.
They pinned it on you, and you've had it on you ever since?
That's right.
Was there some, when is the wedding going to be, honey?
Well, this coming Friday, if not this coming Friday, the next Friday, or the next Friday.
Are you crazy about fish, or why is it Friday? Bill Hickman, huh?
Yes.
Was there some sentimental reason for picking that date?
Well, it's payday, for one thing.
Well, that's better than fish. Honey, how did you meet Bill?
Well, I'm a dance instructor at Velos Yolanda's studio, and he didn't know his left
Dance
foot.
instructor?
That's right. And he didn't know his left foot from his right, so he came in, and I happened to be the instructor, and I taught him to dance.
Huh?
That's how we met.
Do you marry everybody that you give dancing lessons to? What kind of work do you do, Bill?
I'm a dance instructor now, too.
Well, the lessons took, huh? Are you sure you're able to support a family, Bill?
I believe so, yes.
Honey, how big is your family?
Well, I have my mother and my aunt and my sister and a daughter.
Mm-hmm. Can you support all those?
I believe so, yes.
Pretty confident, aren't you, huh? Will you keep on working after you're married, honey?
Yes, I intend to.
Why?
Well, we'll probably have a lot of bills.
Are you sure they're all going to be named Bill? Huh?
That happens to be his name, so...
You might have an occasional girl, you know, huh? Bill, what does your best friend think about your marriage?
He thinks it's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm. I see. Is he married?
No.
Just as I thought. If he thinks marriage is so wonderful, why isn't he married?
He's probably going to wait and see what happens to me.
Oh. Who did the proposing, you or Honey?
I did.
Mm-hmm. What was she doing at the time?
She was knitting.
Well, pretend I'm Honey, and I'm sitting in the parlor, gnawing on a Tootsie Roll and mending holes in my nylons, and you get up enough courage to pop the question out. You go ahead and pop it. See how it works out, huh?
Well, darling, we've been going together now for about a year, a little over, in fact. I think it's about time we got married.
That's all you? That's all you said?
Yes.
Well, she didn't get through the stockings by that time, did she?
Not quite.
Or the Tootsie Roll, huh? Well, Bill, you know, marriage is a serious affair. Are you prepared to give up some of your bachelor habits?
Well, such as what?
Well, what habits would you give up? What are you willing to relinquish to get Honey Brulee?
Well, I'd quit going on vacations alone.
Mm-hmm.
Might give up an occasional golf game.
Mm-hmm.
Quit going out and playing gin rummy with the boys.
Why don't you just shoot yourself, huh? Honey, as a wife, what sacrifices are you prepared to make?
Well, my worst habit is taking so long to get dressed, so I suppose the thing for me to do would be to get up and turn on the fire and close the windows and put all my makeup on, get breakfast all ready, and then call Bill.
So what would you call him then? Do you think a wife should get dolled up for breakfast? And remember, millions of husbands are waiting on this reply.
Well, I definitely do. I think a wife should look her best for her husband.
Well, do you look your best at breakfast, huh?
I try to.
We try to, huh? And how do you feel about it, Bill?
Well, I agree with her there entirely.
You do, huh? Well, just what do you have to do to look your best at breakfast, honey?
Oh, heavens. Well, first of all, brush my teeth and take a shower and comb my hair, get dressed, and put all my makeup on.
By the time you're all ready, Bill is halfway to the office and the insurance man is running up the aisle, huh? Now, honey, how are you doing on wedding gifts? Did you get any yet?
We've gotten quite a few pots and pans.
Pots and pans, huh? Well, I have some perfect wedding gifts for you, too. A sterling silver cigarette case for Bill. And this exquisite sterling silver compact engraved in 14-karat gold for Honey.
Oh,
they're by Elgin American.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, aren't they?
Oh, thank you.
You know, Bill, many emergencies occur around a home. Let's see how handy you are. Suppose Honey got her hand caught in the electric egg beater. What would you do? Quick, you got to act fast now.
I'd run outside and get the wire cutters or something.
You wouldn't even jerk the plug out first, huh? Would you plug the jerk out first, huh? Didn't come out right. Now, Lefty, how do you feel about that? You think that's what he should do?
No, I don't think it's very nice.
To run out to the garage and get the pliers?
No.
Well, my advice to both of you is to take out heavy insurance the first thing in the morning. You two are certainly going to be true to the very end, and the end isn't too far off. Honey, what was your most embarrassing experience?
Well, I've been a dancer, and I was working an engagement at the Utah Hotel in Salt Lake City, and I had my hair all done up in long curls, but I had quite a few extra ones pinned on. So right in the middle of a very pretty little part of the dance, I started losing curls, and before the dance was over, they were all over the floor.
And?
That's the end.
Well, did you crawl around and pick them up, or you just leave them there?
Yes, I had some help, though.
From who?
Well, my partner and waiters and busboys, everyone was picking up curls.
They were all around on the floor grabbing your hair, huh? And did you have anything to say at the conclusion of that?
No, I was too embarrassed.
You just sneaked away from the joint, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what was the biggest mistake you ever made, Bill?
We're probably about to make it.
Well, you know that hair is real, don't you? Huh? Now, Bill, tell me, where are you going on your honeymoon?
I imagine we'll go down to the beach, along Malibu or someplace like that.
Why? Why do you go to Malibu?
Well, it's close, and we don't have a whole lot of time to spend on our honeymoon.
Mm-hmm. And where are you going on your honeymoon, honey?
I hope to go with him.
You're going to the same beach. Are you all ready for the wedding?
Oh, sure, I'm all ready.
What have you got for a trousseau?
Oh, dear, well, I have new dresses, new suits, shoes, bags, and gloves, and hats to match, and all kinds of real pretty lingerie.
Mm-hmm. And, Bill, what are you going to get married in?
I'll just get married in what I have on.
You sound like an old married couple already, huh? Honey with a lot of new clothes and Bill with last year's suit. Now, Bill, as you know, most young couples are not financially equipped for matrimony. How deep are you prepared to go into debt?
Well, I don't think a young couple should go more than $500.
$500. Well, that seems like a reasonable amount. And, honey, do you think that's reasonable?
Well, I don't think that a newly married couple should go into any more than they can actually afford, say not over $2,000.
Bill, I have news for you. After the wedding, the Bank of America is going to carry her over the threshold. Well, you're a very attractive couple, and I wish you great success on the sea of matrimony. May you never get seasick. Now, in just 1 minute, you'll play the Elgin American game for $1,500. You bet your life. But first, George Fenneman has a question to ask. Fire away, George.
Have you looked at your compact lately? One look now can save your reputation in accessories. If that look shows you a compact that has seen its best days. Remember, your compact is the one accessory you use most, that other people see you use. And it either adds to or subtracts from the smart impression you want to make. Compacts are such important fashion accessories today that every woman needs 3. One each in the correct mood for her daytime, sports, and evening clothes. Only Elgin American offers such a thrilling variety of designs, shapes, and sizes for every apparel need. And in such a wide price range that every woman can have an Elgin American compact to reflect her good taste in glowing terms. Look at your compact tonight. And tomorrow, get the compact fashion prefers. America's #1 compact. An exquisite Elgin American.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,500 question. You're going to play You Bet Your Life. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our 3 couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they won't know what goes on until it's their turn.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Title songs of movies.
Here's your first question. How much will you bet? You've got $20.
10.
10. All right. Now, give me the title of this song. It was also the title of a movie.
When my baby smiles
My
at
baby
me.
smiles at me is right.
Well, we're off to a great start. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of your $30 will you bet this time?
15.
15. What's the name of this song? Play, Stan.
If you knew Susie like I know Susie.
Correct.
They now have $45.
All right. You not only knew Susie, but you knew the answer to that song. Now, here's your third question. How much will it be? You've got $45.
That's 30?
30? Here it is. Olivia de Havilland won the Academy Award for this picture. Here's the title song. Okay, Stan.
To each his own.
To each his own is right on the button.
They're really on their way. They have $75.
You have $75, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the $75 you going to go for?
65.
65. What's the name of this song?
Laura.
Laura is correct.
And they wind up with $140.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compact. Stick around now. You're still in the running for the big question.
Perhaps the next couple will say the secret word, Groucho. It's water. They've been in a waiting room off stage. Okay, boys, bring them in. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a motorcycle officer and a woman driver. And here they are, Mrs. Mamie DeJordine and Officer Lou Fuller. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to the Elgin American Show, folks. You bet your life. And if either of you say the secret word at any time we're talking, you each win a 16mm Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you use every day. A motorcycle officer, eh? You married?
Yes, sir.
How'd you meet your wife?
Well, I used to park my motorcycle by a certain apartment house every day, and I saw somebody peeking out the window, so I went in one day to investigate. And, turned out the lady I met turned out to be my wife.
Oh. That'll teach you to stop peeking in windows. How long have you been a cop, Mr. Fuller?
I've been a police officer for 24 years.
I stand corrected. Well, no, I don't. I sit corrected, huh? Not too correct. Well, Flatfeet, how long have you been bouncing around on a motorcycle?
Approximately 20 years.
That long, eh? You're probably very calloused about the whole thing, huh? Being a motorcycle officer, would you say you're a mounted policeman?
Well, you could say that.
Well, thanks. I'll say it. You're a mounted policeman. Obliging fellow, isn't he? Huh? You'd see him on his motorcycle. Now, Mrs. DeJordine?
Yes?
What, is that a French name?
Yes, my husband was French.
Your husband
French,
was French?
and typically French.
Typically? What do you mean by typically French?
By being very selfish and very peevish. You know, they have peculiar ways the Frenchmen have.
You must have been nuts about him, huh? I'll just call you Mamie, huh?
That's okay with me.
Okay, Mamie. Now, stop smiling at the officer here, huh? He hasn't got a foot on your running board yet, you know. How did you meet your husband, Mrs. DeJordine?
I
That
started
D
out...
throws me, you know.
Yes. It sounds a little better. I went out to look for a house. I bought a lot out in Lancashire, and I wanted to get a little house close by so I could build...
Close by the lot?
Yes, so I could build a house on
That's
the...
always handy, I
Yeah.
think.
And I borrowed a neighbor's car to go down to see the lot and look for the house. And when I got on the streetcar tracks, about halfway through traffic, I killed the engine right in front of the streetcar. And everybody laughed at me, and they said, that's just like a woman. So then I was a little excited, and of course I was a new driver.
Why were you excited? Because they said you were like a
Because
woman?
they laughed at me. They just stood and laughed at me. So then a couple of men got off the
I wish
car.
they'd laugh at me, huh? I beg your
got off
pardon.
the car and helped me across by pushing the car over, and one of them saw I was still confused, didn't know which was which. So he said, would I object if he helped me to get started through traffic? And so after he got in the car, he saw I wasn't any too good at driving, so he offered to take me out to look for the house. And that way I got acquainted with him, and inside of a year I married him.
That was the Frenchman that you now despise?
No, he was typically French. They
Oh,
do
yes.
have peculiar dispositions.
I know. They're always helping streetcars. And you drive a car, is that correct,
Yes.
Mamie? Yeah? Well, just remember, I'm standing in a safety zone here. Huh? Would you mind moving a little closer to the microphone? Look out now. Don't back into the cop there, huh? That's just like a woman driver. Officer, it's a good thing you've got strong fenders. Now, Mrs. DeJordine, how long have you been frightening pedestrians?
About 25 years.
Uh-huh. Well, you're man enough to admit it, anyhow, huh? Have you ever had a traffic ticket?
No, but then I've come very close sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're happy to have you here, and to prove it, Mrs. Jordan, here is Elgin American's sterling silver compact.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't it? And for Officer Fuller, the sterling silver cigarette case by Elgin American.
Thank you very much.
It's nothing at all, huh? Now, as a motorcycle officer, just what are your duties, Mr. Fuller? I'll call you Louie, huh?
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Call you Louie, too, huh? That's not... Well, there are a lot of French Louis, you know. There's Louis the 15th, Louis the 14th.
Now, my duties, Groucho, mostly road patrol, traffic...
Mr. Groucho, if you don't mind.
My duties, Mr.
Let me
Groucho.
see your driving card, huh?
You guys got one?
I'll show you mine, too, huh? That's last year's card you got there, huh?
Of course, you know yours is expired.
Officer, it isn't the card that's expired, it's me. Just what are your duties, Louis?
Patrol, traffic patrol, and the instruction of new rookie motorcycle officers.
You mean motorcycle officers have to be trained?
That's right.
How long does it take?
Approximately 3 weeks of training.
Why so long to teach Los Angeles cops?
There's a lot to teach them.
Only took me a week to train a Boston Bull. Of course, I threw him a bone when he was finished, huh? Now, suppose I wanted to become a motorcycle officer. What qualifications would I need?
Well, you'd have to be a member of the department to start with, then. You'd have to be between the age of 21 and 30. Minimum height 5
There
feet
I go,
9 inches.
Huh?
Minimum height 5 feet 9 inches.
5
minimum
feet
weight,
9?
That's right. And minimum weight 160 pounds, and you'd have to be able to pass certain academic examinations and physical agility tests.
Well, I'll get on a bus instead. As a matter of fact, I'd make a very good policeman. I have long arms. I could snatch bananas from a fruit stand without getting off my motorcycle. Suppose I went to your motorcycle officer's training school. What could you teach me in 3 weeks?
Well, it could teach you laws, ordinances, court procedure, presentation of evidence in court, proper approach to drivers, and how to care for your equipment, motorcycle, and how to ride.
Who teaches cops how to snarl at the drivers? Do they pick that up themselves?
No, we don't teach that, Groucho. We use psychology.
I see. You're a psychologist now, huh? You carry a couch on the back of your motorcycle? Just how do you teach a motorcycle cop to be polite? I'd like to hear some of this psychological treatment.
Well, we teach them, Groucho, the proper approach to the violator, that we teach them to be polite and to answer all questions civilly. It's none of our business where anybody happens to be going or what their hurry is. We teach them to answer questions.
Well, why do you always say, what's your hurry, or you think you're going to a fire or something? Why do you always say they're going to a fire? Can't they be in a hurry to go anyplace else?
I don't think they use that approach anymore, Groucho.
They don't? I guess the fires are all out by this time. Well, how does the scientific training affect the overall traffic accident rate in L.A.? Los Angeles.
Well, it affected us.
I thought it was still snowing.
It affected last year, in 1948. There were 289 people killed in the city of Los Angeles. That's a tremendous reduction because we have had an average from 1926 through 1947 of 481 people killed per year in traffic in the city of Los Angeles.
Oh, I thought I read in the papers where there were 900 accidents, deaths last year.
Well, that's the entire county of Los Angeles.
Oh, that's all the way up to Frisco, huh? Well, how does the Los Angeles record compare with other cities?
Well, for its size, Los Angeles is one of the safest cities in the United States today.
Well, that's easily explained, I think. Other cities have safety zones for pedestrians. Out here, they use foxholes.
I think it's due also to their training, Groucho. Incidentally, it might be interesting to you to know that the Andre Lang Productions is in the process of making a film called Road Patrol, it's a semi-documentary film of motor officers, training, and so forth. It's a Technicolor production.
Have you got it with you? Now, I've been steering the conversation away from you, Mrs. DeJordan, just out of habit. I always stay shy of a woman driver, but generally speaking, whom do you think are the better drivers, men or women?
I believe the men are better drivers.
You do, huh? Do you agree with that,
I
officer?
disagree.
You do. Why do you think men are the better drivers, Mamie?
Well, I don't think they're so nervous as a woman is, and they don't become confused as quickly as women do.
And why do you think women are the better drivers?
Well, after observing them for 20 years and seeing that The usual high-speed ride that you have to take after some vehicles, where they turn the lights out, try to get away and dump you and so forth, it always turns out to be a man. You never see a woman involved in that kind of a procedure.
I think women are much more skillful drivers than men. I'd like to see a man powder his nose, adjust his girdle, change the baby, talk to passengers in the back seat, and make a left turn all at the same time. Well, what's your complaint about motorcycle cops, Mrs. Jordan?
Well, when they get out to give one a ticket, they take so much time. They walk as if they had rheumatism.
Louis, would you mind walking up and down? We save you that. They do take a lot of time. I think they like to torture you, you know. They so leisurely. You told me you never got arrested. Now, here I understand you know all about it.
Well, I've observed by being in cars with other people.
Oh, I see.
Not on my own, I haven't been. I've had several close calls, but didn't make it.
Now, as a woman driver, have you any other complaints against other motorists?
Well, I think when you're out in the heavy traffic, I think there's a lot of selfish people driving. And they all want to get there before the other fellow. Yeah. And lots of times it causes accidents.
And Officer Broadbeam, what is your chief complaint? What is your chief complaint against motorists?
Oh, I think basically that it's impatience on the part of the average motorist. They just must go a certain place in a certain speed and make that particular turn at that time. They just can't take a few extra seconds to wait.
Don't you think an awful lot of accidents are caused by the slow drivers who take the center road and won't move, and the other cars have to keep going around them inside and around the other side?
I do, and there's a law.
Why don't they do something about that?
Well, it's very hard to convict on that particular section because if you stop a slow driver in the center of the road, his excuse, if you write him a citation, is that I was going to turn left at the next highway, the next intersection. Oh. Therefore, he's got to be out there driving slowly.
That's a good idea. I may try that myself. I've been trying for years to figure out something to overcome that. Now, tell me, Side Saddle, what was your most exciting experience? What was your most exciting experience as a motorcycle cop?
Oh, I heard a call late one night, about 2 o'clock in the morning. There'd been a holdup and a shooting in which the victim had been shot and killed in the holdup. And about 2 hours after the shooting, I found the two people who did the job in an east side apartment house about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I kicked the door in and went in and got them. And
alone you did this?
Yes, alone. And it resulted in a change of California state law, that particular arrest.
How come?
Well, one of them was sentenced to hang, and he was taken up to state prison San Quentin. And while awaiting the date of the hanging, he had an appeal pending, and there was a failure on somebody's part to send the appeal papers up. And
maybe they couldn't find the ropes.
Anyway, while the appeal was pending, he was taken out and hanged, and so the state legislature passed a law that all appeals, all murder convictions, there's an automatic appeal.
That's a good thing to know, too. I'm learning a lot of things tonight. We'll come again. Now, what was your most embarrassing experience, officer? The biggest mistake you ever made?
Well, Sunset, or Hollywood and Vine one night, I parked the motor back into the curb, and somebody tied a rope onto the back end of my motor. And they tied the other end of the rope onto a trash barrel, and when I pulled out in the street, I had garbage and bottles and tin cans all over the middle of the street.
Well, that's not the first officer I've seen half-canned. Now, Mamie, what was your most exciting experience? Have you had any?
Yes, I've had several. One time when I was learning to drive.
I beg, would you mind starting that again? Once when you were learning to drive.
I went out on a trip. It was quite a few miles. And I left the emergency brake on all the way, and I didn't discover it was on until I got home. And then my husband certainly told me how stupid I was. And I was embarrassed.
And he didn't know that before you left?
No, he wasn't there when I left. I burned out the brake bands and everything while I was on the street.
And what was the biggest mistake you ever made? Just the ash can, huh?
That's about all.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's enough, I think.
Parking at Hollywood and Vine was the biggest mistake I made.
The what?
Parking at Hollywood and Vine.
Parking at Hollywood and Vine?
That's right.
Did you have your uniform on?
Yes, I was in uniform.
Well, you can't get arrested for that.
No, but they tie ash cans on you there.
Oh, they do, huh? Now, suppose you saw me going 60 miles an hour. What would you do, Mr. Fuller?
I'd arrest you.
Well, it just happens I'm on a fast freight. Now, what would you do?
In that case, I'd arrest you for vagrancy.
Well, crime doesn't pay, not with this guy around. Suppose I was driving a car 50 miles an hour through the business district. What would happen to me?
Oh, you'd get $50 for 5 days?
I'll take the $50. I can use the money, huh? Well, Louie, it's really a pleasure having you here, and that goes for you too, Mamie. And I'd like Officer Fuller to know that we citizens appreciate the great work his department is doing in cutting down traffic accidents. Now let's play You Bet Your Life. If you run your $20 into more than the other couples, you get a chance at the $1,500 question. Fenneman, remind our listeners how much the first couple won. Here we go. Let's see how high you can build your $20. What question category did you select?
We selected National Parks.
National Parks. Smart fella. Now, here's your first question. How much will you bet? You've got $20.
$10.
$10. In what state is the Grand Canyon National Park?
Arizona.
Arizona is correct.
They're on their way. They have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. How much of your $30 will you bet this time?
25.
25. In what state are the Mammoth Caves?
In Kentucky.
In Kentucky is correct.
They now have $55.
She may leave the emergency brake on, but she knows a lot about states. Here's your third question. You got $55. How much are you going for?
50.
50? All right. In what state is Sequoia National Park?
In California.
In California.
They now have $105.
You've zoomed. You'll never arrest her, will you, officer?
Never.
You've zoomed up to $105. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 105 you going for?
105.
You going for the whole thing?
Might as well.
Well, this is the fellow that walks into a room with two murderers. Here we go. In what state is the Everglades National Park?
In Florida.
In Florida is correct.
And they wind up with $210.
Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compacts. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we know who gets the chance at the $1,500 question. Fenneman, there's something on your mind. Spill it.
Every man and woman will agree that it's much smarter to carry matching accessories. And every man and woman can have that smartness with Elgin American cigarette case and lighter sets. They contribute handsomely to a man's well-dressed feeling. They lend glamour to a woman's smoking. Every lighter is precision made. And for women, many an Elgin American compact can be matched to its own cigarette case, lighter, or to both. See how pleasantly all these sets are priced. How proud you'll look and feel with a stunning cigarette case and lighter to match by Elgin American.
Well, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money tonight and get the chance at the $1,500 question. George, who's ahead so far?
The motorcycle officer and the woman driver are leading with $210. And here's our final couple, Groucho. They've been in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know the secret word is water. Okay, boys, bring them in. We invited some men from the income tax collector's office to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Samuel Summers and Mr. Bill Randall, a bill collector, to be his partner. And here they are. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Hello, boys. Ganging up on me tonight, eh?
Right.
Well, welcome for Elgin American Compacts. You bet your life. And if either of you say the secret word, you each win a 16mm Apollo sound movie projector. It's a common word, something you use every day. Mr. Randall, you're a bill collector, eh? What do you work for?
The Adjustment Corporation in Los Angeles.
You give spinals?
No.
Who did you say it was?
The Adjustment Corporation, 1110 Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles.
Well, it isn't necessary to advertise it. We have our own products we'd like to plug here, if you don't mind, huh?
You get paid for it.
Some weeks, huh? How long have you been collecting bills?
About 20 years.
Collecting bills for 20 years, eh? What's the matter with collecting Susies for a while, huh? Is that a prop? What kind of bills do you collect, Bill?
Well, unpaid bills.
Those are the best kind to collect. You ought to come over to my house. I've got some wonderful specimens for your collection. Have you ever collected bills in Buffalo?
No, I haven't.
I thought maybe you'd collected some Buffalo bills, you know. Maybe they didn't hear it, huh? I thought maybe you collected some Buffalo bills. Huh? Ah, well. I'll try Bill Cody next time, huh? Are you married, Bill?
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Any little bills around your house with that pink slip showing?
I have a couple of them.
How'd you meet your wife?
Well, that's a long story.
It is. Well, if it isn't too long, let's have it, huh?
I asked my secretary for a date one night, and she couldn't...
Where was your wife?
That was before I met the wife.
Oh. You asked your secretary for a date?
That's right, and she wouldn't have anything to do with me, but she said she knew somebody that she felt might go out with me.
Well, I don't quite understand this. You're a nice, tall, good-looking young fellow. Why wouldn't she have anything to do with you?
She was short.
Financially?
Could be.
Well, short girls usually like tall men, don't they, Bill?
I haven't found it that way.
You haven't, huh? And so, what about this girl that you...
So
She recommended you to, huh?
Introduced me to my wife, and we were married.
Well, that's an idea, huh? She introduced you where? Where was this other girl?
At the office. She came down to the office.
Oh. Was she working there, or just
No,
got a hurry call? She said, there's a fellow here wants to take a bail out. Rush right down, huh?
Happened to be my secretary's sister that she introduced me to.
Oh, and was she short, too?
No,
Tall?
just about right.
Do you have any unpaid bills, Bill?
Well, I have a couple of them.
That's going to be worth seeing when a bill collector meets another bill collector. A tax collector, Samuel Summers, huh? Is that right?
That's correct.
You look like a tax collector. Shifty look about him.
Why didn't you say that?
No, you look very happy, as a matter of fact.
Thank
And
you.
why shouldn't you look happy, huh?
Thank you. At this time of the year.
Yes, any time of the year. Where are you from? Deep in the heart of Texas?
Chicago, Illinois.
That's a blood relative of the Buffalo Bill joke, huh? You're from where?
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago, huh?
Right.
I don't know why people applaud when you mention Chicago.
Their hometown, I presume.
Oh, it's their home.
Their hometown.
Why are they out here, then, if they're so happy? They're always so happy, but you notice they're not there, huh? Are you married, Mr. Summers?
Yes, sir, I am.
Do you have any little dependents running around the house, taxing your patients?
Yes, I have three.
3, huh? Family
Yes, sir.
man. How old are your little tax savers?
13, 15, and 48.
48? You have a son, 48?
No,
A daughter, 48?
no. My wife.
Wait till your wife gets wind of this, huh? Old blabbermouth, you're going to need a little support, huh? Better be careful how I talk to this fellow. If he's the one who goes over my tax return, I could conceivably wind up in Alcatraz. Or Buffalo Bill, huh? Now, Thumbtacks, tell me, how did you meet your wife?
I went to a...
She was too tall for you?
No.
She
No,
said her
she-
sister?
She was just right.
Just right.
I went to a dance with another
I know,
girl.
her hair fell off, huh?
No, with another girl, and my present...
You went to a dance with another girl?
Yeah, with another girl, and this present wife of mine flirted with me, and she was in pretty good form.
What do you mean flirted with you? What
Well, she gave me the eye.
Gave you the eye?
Yeah.
Now she only has one?
No.
Just what do you mean she gave you the eye? What did she do, huh?
One eye at a time.
Well, let's see. Could you give us this? Oh, out that way, yeah. And that fascinated you?
That fascinated me. I danced with her a couple of times, and that was the end.
That was the end, huh?
That was the end.
And you gave her her eye back, I suppose. Huh? Well, it's an eye for an eye. That's the way I see it. Now, has your wife got a short form or the long form? Huh?
She's got a short form.
Short form. 1040, that is.
1040.
As a tax expert, what are some of the advantages of married life?
Well, you have the advantages of filing a joint return.
You got to go to a joint to do it.
You have a community property allowance there.
Uh-huh.
And also dependents.
And the company of your wife, too, I suppose.
Oh, yes. Which you wouldn't have if you were single. Those little dependents that run around.
And do you think you can raise a child today for $600 a year?
Well, we help. You raise a child. But I'm afraid you can't.
No. Let's have 5 minutes of silence here. Your marriage proposal must have been very interesting. Darling, marry me and make me the happiest man in the lower income bracket. We can go through life together raising lots of little capital gains. Now, bill collector, tell me, I'll just call you Bill from now on, huh? You can call me delinquent. Bill, what do you do in your job?
Well, we handle accounts where people have charged merchandise possibly with the intent of paying for it someday, but they become financially involved and have to leave the town, and it's our job to trace them down.
Well, do you go out of town after them, huh?
We have someone waiting for them at the other end.
With what, a blackjack?
No, we're a national organization.
Oh, you're a national organization. You really got to go over the border to skin you, huh?
That's right.
Now, which are the toughest to collect from, men or women?
They're all tough.
Well, which are the toughest? I mean, there's no difference between them?
I don't think.
You don't think women are trickier? Why do they wear that false hair if they're not trickier? And give them peep in the eye, huh? What are the most popular excuses that people use to evade paying their bills, Mr. Randall?
Well, right about this time of the year, the most popular is that they just don't have anything left. The tax collector's been there ahead of me.
Give him the eyes. See if he likes it, huh?
I object.
Now, what dodges do they use to escape you?
Well, there are many different kinds of dodges. Changing their name, moving. We've had them sent them letters, done letters as we call them, and they forward them on to general delivery, Tokyo, Japan, or someplace like that. And
Tokyo Rose gets them?
possibly. They never get back to us.
Now, let's see how good you are at collecting. Suppose I owe a $50 bill for vitamins. I've swallowed them so you can't repossess them now. I'm at home, and you knock on my door. Now, you go ahead. Now, you start collecting. Now, let's see just what the procedure is.
You're Harpo Marx.
No, I'm not Harpo. I haven't been talking here steadily for an hour to be called Harpo Marx. To begin with, you're at the wrong house.
Well, may I ask your first name?
My first name, Groucho.
Groucho, you're just the man we're looking for.
You are, huh?
We've been evaded around this bill long enough.
That's right.
Now, I'm out here to get the money.
And?
You're not going to pay it?
Well, I just haven't got the money, that's all. I paid my tax this morning, and I'm flat.
With your income?
With my income, yes. You know, we have to pay tax,
They
too.
took it all.
They took all of it, yes.
Well, that's a pretty good excuse. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to let you off of the hook. We'll be back when you recuperate.
Fine. You want to take the hook with you before you go? Well, Mr. Randall, you make a fine bill collector. You made some very strong arguments, and I'll remember every one of them when you come to my house. Now, tell me, do you pursue a man to the very end, eh? There's something very final and inevitable about you. Now, bill collector, you better shake hands with tax collector. There you are. I now pronounce you death and taxes. Well, to show you both, I'm just kidding. Here's a wonderful gift for your wives. Elgin American's beautiful sterling silver compact. And tax collector, what do you think your wife will say about that compact?
Oh, she'd say it's beautiful.
Do you think she'll consider it worth a kiss?
By all means, she certainly would.
Well, good. I haven't time to collect it now, but tell her I'll be around before March 15th.
Thank you.
Now, tell me, Mr. Summers, the Internal Revenue man, suppose I need a little more time to pay my taxes. How do you squeeze it out of me?
Well, we'll give you more time. Come down to the office there. We'll talk things over with you. And allow you to pay so much monthly or weekly.
After March 15th?
After March 15th, but...
What happens?
Be sure and pay it. What? There's a penalty.
A penalty.
And interest.
I get penalized 15 yards for withholding, huh? Now, how do you know how much I should pay?
Well, that would be simple for you, Mr. Marks, with your salary. We'll know. And furthermore, we have the list of names and how much each employee receives, which we check against your return the time you file. Your employer's list of names.
Okay, I'll go willingly, huh? Now, what percentage of your customers try to gyp the government?
Oh, I would say about 2%.
Is that all?
That is all.
I thought everybody did, huh?
Oh.
I'm going to have to be more careful from now on. Well, how do you catch the evaders? Other than checking their checkbooks, I presume, and...
Well, we have a lot of friends that write into us. And, of course...
And what happens? Do they get a cut?
They get a cut. Yes, they do. Yes, they get a percentage.
I might turn state's evidence, you know, huh?
We give you a good share of it if we can collect it, yes. It all depends upon how much we collect.
Do you examine each form carefully?
Very carefully in each and every form.
Which forms do you watch in particular?
Oh, the higher bracket forms.
Well, how do you study these forms? Do you go to the burlesque show and sit in the front row? What advice do you have for people filing income tax returns this year? Any particular advice?
Well, if they're not familiar with it, we'd be more than happy to have them come down to the office there. We have deputies, hundreds of them, that will be glad to help them and give them all the advice they want and save them money if possible.
Mm-hmm. Now, as an income tax collector, what's the most interesting experience you ever had, Mr. Summers?
Well...
I don't mean when you got the eye.
Let's see.
In the course of your work, you must have had one outstanding incident that...
Well, they handle the stars quite a bit.
Yeah.
Moving picture stars, radio stars, and their returns are very interesting.
Yeah.
And very interesting.
Are you being shifty when you say interesting? I mean...
No, actually...
In what way are they interesting?
Well, the figures are nice.
Yes.
Up in the bracket. Yes. They run in the 5 and 6 figures.
What's the biggest mistake you ever made in the Bureau of Internal Revenue? Or why aren't you in Alcatraz? Have you ever made a big, serious mistake that you can remember? You don't have to give your real name, you know.
No.
We call you Spring Street instead. Nothing? I mean, your life has been beyond reproach. You never made a mistake of any kind?
Oh, not only in the income tax is what you meant.
Yes, in the income tax, yes. Nothing about the other side of your life.
Oh, I see.
Nothing that you'd care to discuss, huh? Well, tell me, Mr. Randall, what's the most interesting case you ever worked on, huh?
You mean as a collector?
As a bill collector, yes.
Well, I think I wouldn't say it was particularly interesting, but I think the one that gave me the most amusement was the boy we were after, and we went down, made a demand on him for the bill, and he wouldn't pay off, so we sent the sheriff down and levied on his car. That was on a Thursday, and on Monday he came into the office and paid us off in nickels and dimes and got his card, and away he went. About a week later, we got another claim against the same man. Went through the same procedure, went down and got his car, and this went on for about 5 bills. And the last time we picked his car up, he says, listen, man, I want you to go all through your files here now and see if you got anything else against me. He says, the sheriff put more miles on that car this month than I did.
Now, there's something I don't understand, tax collector. Suppose my losses this year exceed my income. As an official from the Bureau of Internal Revenue, how much do I owe you?
You wouldn't owe us 1 cent.
You heard him, folks. You've made me very happy. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Well, after talking to you two, I'm convinced I haven't a chance to lay aside a penny for a rainy day. Now, let's see how you can work together as a team for $1,500.
You're the last couple to play You Bet Your Life. Beat the other two couples, and you get the $1,500 question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners. Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Capitals of foreign countries.
You look like a couple of smart fellows. All right, you have $20. How much of your $20 will you bet on the first question?
$10.
$10? All right. Copenhagen is the capital city of what country?
Denmark.
Denmark is right.
They now have $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. You've got $30. How much of it are you going to bet?
20.
20? All right. Cairo is the capital city of what country?
Egypt.
Egypt is right.
They're on their way with $50.
You've got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to bet?
40.
All right. Helsinki is the capital city of what country?
Finland.
Finland is correct.
They now have $90.
Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet? You've got $90.
Bet the 90.
You're going to bet the 90. All right. This is a tough one. Tirana, Tirana, is the capital city of what country? Tirana or Tirana? I don't know which is the correct pronunciation, but I'll give you both. Capital city of what country? One answer between you. Take a stab.
Yes, Italy.
No, I'm sorry. It's Albania.
Albania. Never heard of it.
You went broke. It's going to take an atom smasher to divide the little bit you two won tonight, so I'll give you another chance to win $10. Just answer this question and think hard. It's pretty tough. No coaching, please. What is your middle name?
Millard.
Miller is correct.
Well, thank you very much.
So that means the motorcycle officer and the woman driver with $210 get the chance at the $1,500 question.
Congratulations. In just 30 seconds, I'll ask the $1,500 question.
Years of the finest designing, engraving, finishing, and craftsmanship have put Elgin American compacts, cigarette cases, and lighters in a class by themselves. Beautiful and durable to use yourself, memorable as gifts for any occasion. See these exquisite accessories in rich colors, silver finish, jeweler's bronze, and sterling silver at any leading jewelry store, department store, or specialty shop. You can put your cigarette case, lighter, and compact confidence in Elgin American. And here's the winning couple, the motorcycle officer and the woman driver.
Well, back again, eh? Good luck. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly, and no help from the audience, please. Here it is for $1,500 cash. With every passing day, American women are taking a bigger part in world affairs. In 1869, what territory, now a state, was first to give women the right to vote? What is the answer you two have decided upon? One answer between you.
Wyoming?
Wyoming, you had the right answer. Well, that was a tough question, but you're a smart couple of cookies here. That's the right answer, Wyoming. Now, what are you going to do with the money, Mamie?
Oh, I need it for so many things. The first thing is my teeth.
Your teeth.
And then I'm going out and look for a husband.
You're going to first get your teeth fixed and then look for a home, huh?
Look for a husband?
For a husband?
Yes.
What do you want to do, bite him?
No, I want a millionaire, Miss Groucho.
I see. And,
And he
what are
doesn't-
you going to do with your money, Officer Fuller?
Well, I think one of the most deserving causes today in this country is the
Me.
Damon Runyon
Oh,
Cancer
yes,
Fund.
yes, the Damon Runyon Cancer
I
Fund.
believe in it, very
I believe in
sincerely.
it, too, and I think that's a wonderful way to spend part of the money. Well, here it is, $1,710 between you. Congratulations and good luck. You won
Thank you.
$210.
The Elgin American Show, You Bet Your Life, is a John Goodell production. Transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan. Editor Bernie Smith. Music by Stanley Myers. Remember, next week's big question pays $1,000. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. Presented by the creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, and finest dresser sets, Elgin American.
Good night, folks. Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately?